Welcome to the first theory application product where we will discuss cognitive development theory, a connection between theory and classroom practice. John Piaget's theory simply says that learning occurs in stages. As we move through this presentation, we will begin to analyze and discuss those stages. Here we will discuss the basic principles of Jean Piaget's theory that include organization, adaptation, schemes, accommodation, and assimilation. According to Snowman and McCown, organization is how we as learners systematize or categorize information. Adaptation is how we make adjustments to stimuli, or in this case, our environment. Schemes are created as organized patterns of behavior or thought. For example, raising your hand during class. However, if there is an experience in our environment that does not already fit our pre-existing scheme, then adaptation is necessary. Further, there are two subtypes of adaptation. They were aforementioned as assimilation and accommodation. We as learners may know that the color red means to stop and the color green means to move. That is a scheme that we already have as considered pre-existing. However, if we are unfamiliar and we encounter the color yellow, we may not know that that means to slow down. So, after repeated exercises and presentation, we begin to accommodate and understand that beyond the color red and beyond the color green, there is also the color yellow that symbolizes to slow down. When our new experiences fit into our pre-existing schemes, we are in a state of equilibrium. However, that state of confusion or misunderstanding when our experiences don't fit into our pre-existing schemes, we encounter a disequilibrium. But do not fear, because the disequilibrium encourages learning. It charges us as learners to question why these new experiences do not fit into our pre-existing schemes. Thus, we will research and figure out how we can get them to fit into our pre-existing schemes. That process of research and trying to eliminate that disequilibrium is called knowledge construction. It's when we use what we already know to solve a problem. According to Piaget, all of these processes are synthesized into what we know as stages of cognitive development. These stages are sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, and formal operational. Welcome to Theory Application. Please click the video titled The Word Wall in Action. Over the course of the next few slides, we will discuss how the theory was applied during the instruction. Here we're going to discuss some of the theoretical practices that took place during the word wall video. Let's first begin by saying that these students are in the pre-operational stage. Snowman and McCown characterizes this stage where it is important for students to master symbols such as letters, words, and even language acquisition. This is a point where children and students form several new schemes. However, these schemes are not created or formulated logically. So, as teachers and teacher candidates, it is imperative for us to take those factors into account when giving instruction. So, in the very same text of Snowman and McCown, on pages 32 and 33, there are some suggestions for teaching that are reflective of Piaget's theory that says that we should focus on what students can do and avoid what they don't understand. So if you remember from the video, the paraprofessional understood that the young lady could spell the word cat. However, the young lady could spell the word cat with a K and not a C. The young lady has a pre-existing scheme of the sound of the letter that begins with the word. However, she has not yet made the accommodation to understand that there is another letter that will have the same sound that will allow her to spell the word correctly. There is another portion in the video where the paraprofessional is trying to help a young lady spell the words me and and. And there is a suggestion for teaching that says that we should provide materials for students to self-learn or to help students learn on their own. So she then directs the young lady to the word wall where she can learn on her own, where she can find the word herself with guidance and instruction from the paraprofessional. However, she encouraged the young lady to solve the problem on her own and encourage her own learning. The word wall is filled with letters and different words where students can go and construct their own knowledge about what they already know to figure out how to solve their own problems, which is exactly what happened in this case. The word wall was there. The young lady was able to get up and use what she already knew to find the word that she was looking for. Here we're going to examine the lesson redesigned. So the possible learning objective for the word wall video would be students will be able to demonstrate their understanding of words and sounds. The redesigned objectives is students will be able to demonstrate the differences in letters and sounds. The paraprofessional's main focus was for students to understand the associations between letters and words so that they can have a foundation and a basis of how to create them. The purpose of the redesigned objective is to help students connect their new idea to their old idea. So not only do we have a foundation of the sounds of letters and how we create words with them, but are there other letters that help create words with the same sound? Suggestions for teaching in Piaget's theory says that we should point out to them how their new ideas relate to their old ideas that will in turn expand their own understanding. As a form of assessment, we could give the students a list of sight words that reflect spelling with the letter of the same sound, but with different spelling, and have them identify the correct spelling on each word. For example, the word cat, have it spelled with a C and also have it spelled with a K, and have them identify which word is actually spelled correctly. Or we can have the students spell the words to the best of their ability and have them construct their own knowledge about what they already know of the letters that can possibly spell the same word. Now, as teacher, I could simply give them the correct spelling of the word. However, according to Piaget's cognitive development theory and suggestions for teaching, these exercises and assessments allow the students to mentally manipulate the information. How can you connect your own ideas to new ideas that have been introduced to you? It presents an opportunity for them to learn on their own based upon what they already know. The use of Piaget's cognitive development theory simply says that at each developmental stage, the student or the child has a certain cognitive level that enables them to learn in a certain way. However, there are some strengths and some weaknesses with that. Are we underestimating the children's capacity or overestimating the adolescent's capacity to learn and process information? But more importantly, a weakness, especially when we discuss students in high needs schools, are cultural differences. Due to cultural differences, are students actually intellectually growing and developing at the same stage or on the same level? These are questions that we have to ask ourselves as teachers and teacher candidates when we begin to develop curriculum and instruction. What are the factors that may hinder or that may encourage their learning when it comes to these weaknesses and when it comes to how we use the cognitive development theory? All of the sources and information used in this project was from Snowman and McCown, alongside some images that were pulled from Google. And thank you so much. Also, for the assessment portion, some of the information and understandings were pulled from a Taxonomy for Learning, Teaching, and Assessing by Anderson and Krathwohl.